Now, when I started working on taking a look at this Warfighter Engage stick and solving any problems with it, I found that it was a simple fix of taking out some extra wires that were in the shaft of the stick, and it seemed to clean this up pretty well. And this second stick here really didn't have any problems at all. But I wanted to show you what the next step would be if I wanted to get away from the TRRS connection, which is again that 4-pole connection, the analog one that goes in X1, X2, and instead go with USB. Now again, the USB solution is not going to work for the PlayStation 5 access controller because it only has the TRRS inputs. So this will work with the Xbox AC. It'll work with the computers too, but primarily with the AC. So here's my recommendation if you want to do that. Now, first off, I realize that there are already devices out there that will do this. You can get from other makers, and those work perfectly fine. So if you have one, use it. But what I decided to do on this, instead of rewiring the world, I went back to a newer component that I've been using for other projects from Adafruit called the Adafruit TRRS Trinkey. This is a device, this is a board. It's an all-in-one board, has the USB connection, and it has a 3.5 millimeter connection for your analog jacks. Okay, now how is this originally sold and most often used is as an interface for buttons. So you can write code where you write the code so that it maps a button press to a USB keyboard press. So one could be like enter and one could be space bar or anything. And this has been also used in interesting ways. It's been used for some test response stuff for different research projects. It's a handy board, and so far I've only used it for buttons, but its inputs goes to analog pins on the SAMD21 microcontroller. What does that mean? It means that it could read analog. If it could read analog, that means I could hook it up to a joystick. So what I have done is I wrote a program that instead of sending keyboard commands, sends joystick commands. So it reads the analog values from the stick and it converts it to joystick stuff. And because I'm running through code, I have more control of what I'm going through. So let me see if I could send this one image. Well, actually, let me resize this. See if I can resize this a little bit. Okay, so here you have let me see if I can make this bigger. I always forget which command is which. See, even I forget these amazing things. Okay, so let me clear the paths. So here, what I have is I have the joystick going through the trinket. So there you go. See how it works? So this is now taken this analog TRRS joystick and turned it into USB. Now the benefit, again I keep saying this, but it's really important from why I push the USB so much, is because I could do things in code that the pure TRS stick, you're relying on what the Xbox AC, how it handles it, and any sort of downstream software. But running it through the microcontroller, and by the way, did I mention this microcontroller costs $10? I mean, it's as close to free as you can get. But anyhow, it allows me to do things like filtering. So, like here, what am I doing here? I say, here are the inputs, here are the outputs. This is what talks to TRRS. I do an analog read So I've reading the values. Then I put a constraint on those values. So I limit them. So if we ever get any values that are way out, it gets removed automatically. Um, the Xbox typically likes a smaller range of values, and this is what's mapping and ranging. Um, there's dead zone handling, there's inversion, and then once all that's done, then I actually send the value up to HID for the joystick at the computer or the Xbox AC. So, and I can add in other things like more advanced filtering. So, like if somebody had essential tremors, for example, that could be filtered in. So, I really recommend if you are looking to take an analog stick that you have that uses the TRRS 4-pole connection and you want to have it as USB, go this route. The board is inexpensive, the code is not horrible, and it gives you a lot more control. And so that's my speech on that. So if we find that this joystick just really isn't working out through the X1, X2 inputs on the Xbox Adaptive Controller, the next step is I'll say, okay, let's run it through USB and then go from there. So there you go.